one of the mantras that I have, which is be where your feet are. So how do you get to that sort of mindset of not allowing tomorrow's problems to worry you right now?
For me, it just comes naturally. Because like I'm telling you, during pregnancy, I was just there. But at the time, I wasn't stressed about anything. I don't know how to get to that point because I feel that's just how I am. Because even now, I just live my life one day at a time.
Most people, if you ask them what they're dreaming about at 19, they'll give you wild answers. But all you wanted, not even a bed,
just really wanted a bigger mattress. Yeah. And I didn't get that until 2022 December.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't stop dreaming.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of A Letter to My Younger Self. I am your host, Wabosha Maxine, and today we are joined on set by Abby. Welcome to the podcast. It's so lovely having you here. And she came with some pretty flowers that have glitters on them. I've never gotten flowers with glitter. Thank you so much. She's a florist, by the way, so we'll link her page in the description box. Actually, on my birthday, I wanted to get myself a money bouquet. Yeah, get myself. But I didn't get myself. But we were knee deep in mandamano. But I'll still come back and be a customer. So, like I said, today the first day that we've met, but how I came across you for the first time was on TikTok. Mm-hmm. I think it was a video where you were talking about a relationship you had with a parent of yours, and then now the algorithm brought me back when you started mommy issues. Yeah, so let me not preempt anything, maybe you can tell us a bit about your childhood and your upbringing and what led you to start the mommy issues series.
Well, I'd say my experience as a parent, I'm a mom to a 6-year-old. So my experience as a parent and how I treat my child, it just got me thinking, why wasn't I treated this way growing up, And now seeing my baby grow up and just seeing her express herself in ways I couldn't when I was a child, it just made me feel like something was missing,
Mm-hmm.
So, well, an instant happened. I mentioned it in the series that prompted me to talk about it in order to caution parents such that, I don't know, kids are kids. You have kids, they're yours, and responsibility, whether or not you're raising them alone,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so mine was just a cautionary tale, especially to young, not really young, but single moms, single dads. I don't know about single dads, but particularly single moms, because that's what we have a lot of nowadays, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You can take your frustrations on life, on kids, It's fair.
Yeah.
Because I'm a single mom myself, I just figure it out on my own because I know she needs me. I'm all she has, so there's no point, I don't know, just feeling bad about the whole situation, just because I had a kid and I'm raising her alone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing your story. It's 60 parts, yeah? And if anything, I'm actually jealous of the guys who haven't watched it yet, because the rest of us, every night we were there waiting for episodes. But right now, if anyone wants to watch it, they can go and literally take an entire afternoon and binge the series. So before we get into the rest of the episode, perhaps you can go ahead and read your letter to us.
A letter to my younger self. At 19 years old, I held a newborn baby girl in my arms. At 17 years old, I was clueless about what my life would become. At 17, as a first year fresh into university, I became hopeless, tired, and desperate to see the light at the end of the tunnel. At 18, I got pregnant. At 18, I thought that pregnancy was a joke and didn't think any deeper about how drastically my life would change. But for the first time in a long time, I felt hopeful. I felt like I'd been given a second chance at life, at a meaningful future. How would that look like? I had no idea. Dear 19-year-old Abby, how is that baby doing? Lol, you're a mom now. Do you realize how serious of a title that is? The days are going by so fast and your area is growing up quickly. her needs are starting to advance. Soon she'll need to start school. Are you prepared? But wait, it's too early to stress about that now. Do you want to go back to school and finish your degree? Should you get a job? Should you move up country and have your grandmother take care of you too for a while? So many questions, yeah? One thing I love about you is that you don't let tomorrow's problems waste your time today. So keep that up. You're still young. Soon, you'll grow up and realize what it really means to be a mother. You'll reflect on your own childhood and aspire to do things differently. That won't be a problem though, because you'll realize that you've been doing it all along. You want the best for your baby, and that's what matters. She gave you hope and a will. She gave you hope and a will to live. She still does. My advice to you, don't change anything. Don't change anything. Trust me, you're on the right track. The little dreams that keep you up at night, write them down and never stop being delusional. It's 2024 now. You're 25 years old and Ara is 6. You see, you had it in you all along. Are we where we want to be in life? No, not yet, but we're getting there. You're okay. You're going to be all right. You've got this.
So let me take you back to when you first found out you were pregnant. That was 18, 19?
Yeah, I was 18.
You were 18 at the time. How did you find out? What was your reaction? What were your feelings at that time? Because somewhere in the letter you mentioned, like, you're not thinking very deeply about it. And for me right now, I'm 28. And if I found out I was pregnant, I will freak out simply because I just don't feel like I'm ready to be a mom. So I can't imagine the feelings at only 18. So how was that like? How did you find out?
Well, at the time, I was seeing my baby daddy, yeah? So it was a classic case of, I don't want to call it carelessness, because it just happened, and we knew, we both knew it was risky, went ahead with it, and then I never really thought to take those pills people take afterwards, So when I didn't get my period that month, I just knew Bana Chmeiramba. But at the time, so much was going on in my life that surprisingly, that didn't even bother me as much as it should have, I was just flowing with it. Yeah. But okay, now, first of all, one thing that was going on in my life at the time is I was practically homeless-ish. So being pregnant meant that this man had to take responsibility. So I'd have somewhere to sleep, eat and stuff, So I was like relieved for a moment there,
But now you have a place.
nikimwomba 200 ananiimagine ankora mimba.
It was the last of your worries at that point.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about your pregnancy journey and perhaps at what point it really hit you, the weight of parenthood and, like, I'm about to be a mother. How was the whole pregnancy journey?
Pregnancy was fine. Honestly, I never had any complications or anything health-wise. Everything was okay. So I stayed where I was staying at the time. I stayed until I was like 4 months pregnant. Then I moved in the baby daddy. So I just moved in and stayed with him. I just didn't care what was going to happen after, So I stayed until it was time to have the baby, and then stayed there until 1 month later. So when Arya was 1 month old, I had to go to my grandmother's place because I don't know, he was a student, so it was also quite overwhelming for him. So at the time, I thought, what, let me just nimondole mzigo, So yeah, so looking back, ilikuwa tu kama mchezo ya cha baba na cha mama, honestly. Mi nilikuwa tu, Yeah, so I stayed at my grandmother's until Arya was 6 months old. And then I came to Juja because at the time I thought I was going to come back to JKUAT, continuing from where I left off, So that's the point when it hit me. Yo, this is serious because
now when you came back to
when I came back to Juja now, thinking I'm coming back to school, which I actually did for like 2 days. Cause I mean, between breastfeeding, leaving the baby at the daycare, working, because I had to work, remember? Yeah, I just couldn't do it. Yeah, so I decided this can wait.
Yeah, and in your letter you say that you don't let tomorrow's problems bother you today. And actually it sort of matches with one of the mantras that I have, which is be where your feet are, which is basically what you were explaining. So how do you get to that sort of mindset of not allowing, tomorrow's problems to worry you right now?
Now, I think for me, it just comes naturally, because like I'm telling you, during pregnancy, I was just there. Maybe I just wake up, the stomach is growing. I don't even care to worry about it. Because by the time I was having the child, we had no clothes for the baby. I don't know. It was chaotic, But at the time, I wasn't stressed about anything. I wouldn't say I was extremely worried about what would happen in the future and stuff like that, yeah. So I think I don't know how to get to that point because I feel that just how I am, because even now I just live my life one day at a time.
Yeah. Let me take you a bit back to sort of the beginning and how perhaps like this ended up here, because for me, I feel like right now, if anything happens, I'm going back home. I'm going back to my mom immediately. I'm like, Mom, what is happening? So why was that not an option for you?
Well, my relationship with my mom has not always been the best. Now, my parents divorced when I was very young. So I think that really affected my mother because now she was left to raise us. My father left, yeah. So I can't really speak to her state of mental or emotional health at the time but one thing is for sure, she really projected her frustrations and everything on us. Well, I don't know. Mpaka sahi, if you asked her, she'd say she did the best to raise us. We never lacked food. We always had a roof over our heads, but at what cost, So I don't think that's how it should be because I've never now been comfortable to know like she's someone I can really count on. So even when I got pregnant, no, I can't go. I didn't even tell her when I got pregnant, unfortunately, because I don't know. I don't want my child to tell me when I don't know. I don't want her to get pregnant, but like in case of anything, because you don't know, life throws so many curveballs at you.
Yeah.
So I don't want to develop a relationship with my kid such that they are comfortable enough to see me as a safe space. Yeah, I think that's very important. How do you do that? I have no idea, obviously. I'm still doing it or taking it one day at a time, Googling, watching YouTube videos, watching TikTokers who talk about parenting. Yes.
What are some instances that you can perhaps point out that made the relationship between you and your mom strenuous? And how did that affect the kind of parent that you want to become now to your child?
Well, one major thing is, I think, called corporal punishment. Yeah, because I know most of us, especially in our generation, were raised by a very na kiboko tu na rungu ambao. But I've met people who are not raised that way, and you can tell me and them are very different in terms of how we see life and how just how we are as people, Yeah, so I think that was a major thing. Alafu unajua, kuna vile mzazi anaweza kugonga mpaka uone, ai, kwani nilitoka wapi? Nilitoka where, And it's unfortunate because this is a topic not many people talk about because, I don't know, people just feel like their parents should beat them up or something. I don't know, maybe it's a westernized way to look at parenting, because some people will say mambo ya kizungu hayo, lack of beating kid, but it's not even about beating. I don't know. I'll figure it out, you know. But there's just, I feel there's a better way to do it, kwa sababu it's just inaitwa kuwedge a gap between, I feel like I grew up fearing my mother, like, unamuogopa tu kabisa, and I don't want my kid to fear me, So it's not even about, I don't know, because some things unapata we did do out of rebellion, unaona, because I remember in the series I mentioned, there are things I did because like kesi baadaye. The worst that can happen is ndachapwa. Nishazoea, and it's nothing new. So, yeah, and I don't think that's how it should be, yeah. And other than that, it was just, you could just tell she's not comfortable being a single parent, and it's not comfortable at all kwa sababu life is not easy. Raising a kid alone, I know that because I'm doing it, So, yeah, I don't know. Ni ngumu lakini, love your kid. I feel like loving them should really stop you from doing a lot of things,
Yeah.
But now, with my mom and us, she always felt she should not have been in this position, So, yeah, she probably, ni kama vya unaambiwangwa, if you see the way people hate going to work on Mondays, you start loving Mondays and maybe work will get better, So, the same thing, but like, I just love you, babies.
Yeah. And what do you think about motherhood now?
Motherhood now.
Compared, to the 19-year-old you were writing.
Yeah. Now I'm obviously more grown. I'm more mature, and I know how to make money better than I did when I was 19. Because a huge part of parenting is the financial responsibility. And those are really huge. Yeah. So, yeah, and it's obviously going to get a lot harder. Sister, the kid goes to primary school, the more the class in inapanda, the more the school fees inapanda, the more in the high school. Yeah, but it's a good thing we are also growing. So,
when you think back at your childhood and maybe just like your entire journey, what are some relationships that you formed, whether good or bad, and how did these relationships influence the relationships that you now want to have as an adult?
In terms of relationships with
either platonic, romantic. Yeah.
So, hi. Well, now, back in primary school, I feel like I remember that I used to have best friends at different stages. I remember I had a best friend in class 6 in particular. Went into class 1 to class 6, 5, I think. From class 6, I got another best friend. So, as a child, I can't really talk much about those friendships that we used to form then, yeah? But one particular one stuck. Mpaka sai bado ananiandama kama kupe. But I feel like I can't really speak to my ability to make connections with people, but I find that the people I connect with, it becomes a lot more long-term because, I don't know, kuna two relationships zenye I value. Now, in terms of platonic friendship relationships, I really value those, especially with people when we share the same goal. I don't know, we have things to talk about. Yeah. I've met people along the way, a lot of people that have come through for me in huge ways. And I'm glad I've found ways to come through for them as well. It has to be both ways, yeah? So, yeah. Have I answered it properly?
Yeah, you have. Yeah. And I mean, I know one of those people you've mentioned is Kai Grace, and for the guys who she came with Kai Grace here on studio, so I'm assuming it's one of those deep relationships that you made. How did these relationships come through for you later on in life? And what was the advantage of having, you know, such a support system?
Exactly. So now, given that I've mentioned my family would not have been in the picture, well, I'm sure some of my family, okay, if not all, feel bad that they had no idea I were pregnant, because they say we would have shown up for you and stuff. But I don't know, family is just family. Because for me, it's unfortunate that nisianze kutoanisha watu wa familia yangu hapa, but for some reason I find it very difficult to form connections with my family members. I don't know why. I don't like to keep them really close. I don't know. I really can't explain that, yeah, because okay, I just can't explain it.
Yeah, you prefer like the chosen family.
Exactly, the family I choose for myself, yeah. And now let me talk about now my relationship with Fabrice. Yeah, we started being friends from class 6. It's been 16 years of, of being friends. Now, friends are just friends. We talk about a lot of things. We talk about boys. We talk about high school experiences. We talk about our dreams, our goals and stuff. Yeah. But one thing that really stands out for me up to date is that she's the one that was there when I was in labor. She was the one rubbing my back when I went to labor.
Yeah.
So I find that, I don't know, sometimes I hear people saying they don't have friends, or maybe ever since the series came out, people saying they need a grace in their life. And I really don't know what to say, honestly, because I don't know. I'm just blessed because I've met now more people along the way that have just come through for me in huge ways. I have so many uncles and aunties for Aria, and it's just a very huge blessing. You know?
Yeah. What are some lessons that you would want to teach Aria when it comes to, you know, forming relationships and navigating a life, you know, within tough seasons and all?
I think what I would tell her is, even she'll figure it out. I think they're just things you have to figure out on your own, you know. Because I remember growing up, tukiwa high school, me and Grace tuliambiwa tusionekane pamoja. Tuliambiwa hiyo town, tusionekane pamoja. And I don't know, maybe at the time tulikuwa tunaharibiana. I don't know, unajua venye parents tell you mnaharibiana. But now, given that now she's my person now what do you say to that? I don't know, should I have listened? You know, I don't know what to say. There are things I will have to figure out on her own, but I'll obviously, of course, would really love to be there to guide her with that, you know.
Yeah. Let me take you back a bit to your letter. When you say, you know, don't stop writing those dreams, don't stop manifesting. What sort of dreams did 19-year-old Abby have for herself?
I wanted a big mattress.
What really?
Well, at 19, at 19 is when I had the baby. I still wasn't really dreaming, me nikuwa tu. But now when I came to Juja is when I just want, you know, you just want to be, because when I moved back here out to Juja, we lived with a bunch of roommates, but in Shikaza, it was fun and all, but I used to feel like, I'm the one with the baby there, kakilia ngenge usiku, you know, it's not very comfortable, and I don't know, I don't want to, talk funny,
Inconvenience.
Inconvenience watu wengine msongo usiku, they need to study and sleep, you know. So at the time I really wanted to live alone. I really wanted to just live alone, and I did.
Yeah. Let me tell you, when you said what you were dreaming about is a huge mattress, that really, no, for real, it just shows, you know, even the state or the place that you were at that time at 19. Most people, if you ask them what they were dreaming about at 19, they'll give you wild answers. But all you wanted, not even a bed, like that was the matter.
At the time I was sleeping on the floor, but it was a 4x6 mattress.
Yeah.
And I remember I had this mosquito net for kids. Do you know it? The one that unravels, then you have to fold it back.
Yeah.
So it used to take up a huge space in the bed because unajua it's on the floor.
Yeah.
Siweziweka mosquito net. Okay, I prefer the round mosquito net. Ilifika huko, so I preferred na niko hiyo neti. So it used to take up so much space, and I don't know. Yeah, I just really wanted a bigger mattress.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that until 2022 December.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't stop dreaming.
It should come no matter how small or big it is.
And no matter how long it takes, it will get there. So now I have a 6x6 one, and guess what? Aria is still taking up space. I don't know. Tunalala usiku, first of all, alikataa kulala peke yake because there's another mattress huko kwa bedroom. Taki kulala huko, she wants to sleep with me. So tumelala, mattress inafika huko, but she wants to sleep
right next to you.
like yo, but yeah.
And what kept you going? Because it seems like there were a lot of hurdles in your journey, but each day you got up, put one foot in front of the next, and you just kept going. What kept you so motivated?
I think one word, Aria, honestly. I'm a firm believer that if I didn't get pregnant, I wouldn't have been here. I don't know, maybe. So maybe starvation or the other one that starts with an S, I was just fed up because you just, unashindwa, what are you doing? Yeah, unafanya. And I know that's what a lot of people feel. I'm sure when people watching this sometimes, you just feel like, what are you doing? Now, I'm very lucky I had Aria because now I look at her and I'm thinking, if I go, who am I leaving her with? So I just have to show up.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
And I remember, and I was talking to an aunt of mine, because in the series I mentioned about Aria being the only thing that keeps me going, and she told me that's really sad. And it's true, but now things have changed. I feel like since the series came out and getting all the feedback from people and a few things about my personal life having changed, I feel like now I have a lot more things to look forward to in life. And yeah, I'm just really hopeful about the future.
Yeah. And you tell yourself, you wouldn't change anything. Like your journey, the way it is, if you ever too, you wish everything just happens exactly how it did. Was there a time that maybe you looked back and you were like, okay, maybe this and this right here, maybe I should not have done that? And how do you get to the point where right now you're like, actually, no, like if there was ever a time that you thought you should change anything, how do you get to the point where right now you're like, actually, no, everything was perfect?
I think, well, first of all, I've never been in a situation where I'm maybe regretting ever meeting my baby daddy, because those are things a lot of moms say or think, like, I wish I never met this man. But I'm thinking, if you never met him, you wouldn't have these kids. So what are you trying to say? I don't know. Sitakangi kusema, whenever people are talking about how difficult parenting is, I get that. Like, you got pregnant. No, alafu unajua, I don't know. Nowadays, there are so many ways to prevent pregnancy. Kami yake nikipelema ndio wanajua tukienafanya, unfortunately, So, why then come around, especially for people who get married and then marriage goes south? If you're not the first one mwenye imefanikia hivyo, so why didn't you at least, I don't know, don't expect it to happen, but like, why are you thinking that it's a very bad thing that happens?
Yeah.
Ni ngumu. Hapo ni ngumu. Hapo ni ngumu. But yes, I've never felt like I regret ever meeting my baby dad, because then I wouldn't have Aria, and then what's the point of all this?
Yeah.
I don't think maybe vitu kama una regret, afadhali nisingeweka chumvi mingi kwa chakula. Afadhali ningebuy maziwa jana na kutoka nje kwenda kwa duka asubuhi. But then unatoka nje kwenda kwa duka asubuhi, unapata maybe mtu wako anduthi unamsalimia and he's so happy, and then you're thinking, kama hatungepatana, maybe he wouldn't have smiled up to now, Okay, that's a stretch, but I'm thinking, I don't want to say everything happens for a reason, but we should really just embrace things how they go and just flow to life. Because people who, when I usually ask myself, the people who give up completely to the point they want to end it all. But if they waited like a few more minutes, would it have changed? And maybe for some it wouldn't have. But I find that most nights where you really cry yourself to sleep, you wake up in the morning
and
you're fine.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just hang in there.
Yeah. How was life after the series? Rather, how is life after the entire Mommy Issues series? Did your relatives end up seeing it? The reaction?
Well, yeah, I think everybody saw it, including my grandfather. Yeah, everybody saw it. Most of them know I told what it was, like the truth, how it was. Unfortunately, my mom and I, we are still not there yet, I don't think. Okay, let me not speak for her, but I don't think I am at the point where I can just say, it's okay, let's just rush it under the news. Because I feel like people don't really change, And one thing I really like to protect is my peace. I like to take one day at a time. I don't like stress at all. I really try to avoid it, So anything that is giving me stress, I'm stuck into. And I feel like, I don't know, I don't think I am emotionally ready to start talking about how to fix things, because there's nothing to fix. I'm okay. One thing I noticed a lot of people were feeling with all the tears, because there was a lot of tears, is that I haven't healed. A lot of people telling me heal and move on. Like, I'm here now, so I moved on.
Yeah.
But now me telling the story was just me telling you this happened. It's not like my life is stuck because it happened. Because, my life is not stuck. I'm not rich or I don't have a bed yet, Because, I don't know. Okay, no, I'm just saying, I'm not where I want to be. That's what I wrote in the letter. But I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like me right now, I'm fine, So, don't let the tears deceive you. Maybe I still need therapy. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Now, regarding my family, a lot of them saw it, and I wouldn't say there's been any sort of significant feedback per se, except for a few who maybe are feeling they had no idea what was going on. They feel sympathetic at all, because I know your uncles and aunts don't really know what's going on in your life,
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's that. What else? Nothing else. Oh, I've been selling flowers. Sorry for that. Oh God, I'm so grateful to everybody that came to buy flowers from meeting me or seeing me online. It really means a lot, because a lot of people come to my inbox telling me, hey, Mamari, I'm just buying just because, let me just buy. Others have been buying me Indomie and Aria. Indomie, that has been really nice. And I've received a lot of feedback now from people. After the comments, you can. Some comments were like, and I don't know, up our comment section, I feel like you could tell the people who are mistreating their kids, and they feel they have a right to, because they are providing everything the kids need, and that's on them. Yeah, so yeah, I've been receiving flower orders, and I'm grateful for that. In terms of, I really want to pursue content creation as a career, like seriously. I need to get serious on that. I've just been relaxing. I don't know why. Why have I been relaxing? I've been busy with a few other things, but I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and speaking of therapy, I know Wambui from my team already reached out to you and let you know that we're going to be giving you free therapy. Personally, I'm really excited for this, because your famous one-liner,
I know.
I can't afford therapy, so listen. So when BNM reached out to partner for this season and let us know that they want to give 3 months worth of therapy, I was like, yes, immediately one spot must go to Abby. So how are you feeling about the therapy?
Oh, I'm so excited because I feel like, because back then, when the series came out, so many people reach out, especially psychologists, counselors, therapists, telling me they would like to offer free sessions and stuff. I was very grateful, and I still am, because it's not every day you just wake up and someone wants to listen to your problems, for free, But I think at the time I wasn't ready. Nilikuwa tu staki, like the sister, like I just wasn't ready to go through the whole thing. By now I feel like when she reached out to Wambui, I feel like, yeah, I could do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are things I need to figure out about myself.
Yeah, and I know that Abby has taken one spot, but for you guys watching at home, we have 2 slots left to give away to you guys for 3 months worth of therapy. BNM Safezone is a therapy firm that aims to ensure that therapy is accessible and affordable to everyone. And life can get a bit overwhelming, but it's important to take care of your mental health. So check the description box and we'll have more details on how you can enter the giveaway. For you, Abby, I can't wait to hear the updates. Personally, I'm hoping for like a sequel.
I will.
Where it can be, I need this only I can't wait to listen. So before I let you go, we normally do a time capsule sort of thing where you wrote a letter to your 19-year-old self. So now we want to think of the future. So you can leave a message to 35-year-old Abby. So you can take a minute, think about what you'd want to tell your future self. And then inshallah, in 10 years' time, I can come and be like, I have a message for you.
What do I say?
Think about it.
Given that I don't really, I have dreams, but I don't really obsess over them. I won't stress myself because I don't have a degree yet. If I get a degree, I get a degree, So I don't know what to say because I don't know whether I'll have one kid still, 2 kids, 7. I know it will change in 10 years. This is to 35-year-old me. I hope you're happy.
I think that's the shortest future letter